So Soosh, you're going to be pleasantly surprised. You're going to be happy to learn this. Coach Greg and I just finished watching a video by Soosh. It's his 2,700 calorie diet. So I love the information that he was presenting and I wanted to share it with more people. Soosh, he's a good cook. He knows what he's doing in the kitchen. I was thoroughly impressed. Lots of quality information presented in this video. So let's go through this video together and see what we can learn from Mr. Giant himself, Soosh.
Being in a deficit, I get pretty tired and pretty fatigued. So I think for me and my body, I need 2 rest days. So you do like an 8-day split.
So he's training his entire body twice every 8 days. He's got a 3-day split, 3 days on, 1 day off, and he repeats. I think that's great quality training, and I don't think he's being a bitch or a pussy for taking a day off every 4 days. If you're training hard in the gym for 3 consecutive days, why not take a day off? You earned it and your body can recover, repair itself, and not get injured.
Actually, by the way, this guy's been pretty bad. The past 2 nights, he's peed in my room.
Only 2 nights of peeing in your room. Once, probably. Try living at Coach Greg's place with 17 animals, several fosters, and 1 pee in a night. Let's go with about 10. Over under 10 pees and poops on the floor every single day.
Oh, a little cycle update that I just wanted to let you guys know of. My test is at 250 milligrams a week. I'm gonna keep it there, and then I'm going to lower the trend.
So an update on his cycle, he's only doing 250 milligrams of test a week. It's not much. It's only about double what I'm doing, and I'm on HRT. So it's a fairly low dose of testosterone. Coupled with that, he has trend. He started at 100 milligrams, got some result, bumped it up to 150, and then went to 200. But at 200, started to get a little bit of negative side effects, so decided to lower the dose. And because he's lowering the dose, he wouldn't expect to make the same gain, so he added in 25 milligrams of Anavar a day. He's never really done Anavar before. I can tell you I absolutely love Anavar. And no, I'm not a doctor. I'm not telling you to go out and do Anavar trend tests. In fact, don't do any of this shit. It's not smart to do that. I'm on HRT, prescribed by my doctor. Hopefully, Soosh, she's on the same program as me. Something prescribed by my doctor. So if it's against the law, don't break the law. Don't do anything silly. So what do I think of this cycle? I think it doesn't make any sense. I'm just going to be perfectly honest here. Trend is very strong, very harsh. You're only doing 250 milligrams of test. If you're trying to get greater results, I would strongly suggest that you use a higher testosterone dose. But if you don't like the side effects of testosterone, perhaps you're bloated, getting too much acne and so on, you can use something else. He decided to use Tren. Tren is way stronger than testosterone, about 3 times as strong. If you look at the anabolic androgenic ratio, it's going to say it's 500 with test being 100, so it should be 5 times as strong. But from my experiences, it's not actually 5 times as strong, but it is 3 times as strong. So when he was doing 200 milligrams of Tren, that's kind of like doing 600 milligrams of test. And Tren, it's not healthy. It should be saved for when you absolutely need it. So she's not doing a competition. He's not entering anything. As far as I know, he's not competing in a bodybuilding show anytime soon. And he's a young guy. So you don't add in one of the strongest steroids known to man when you're only using 250 milligrams of test. It's something you use at the end of a cycle to try to get past a plateau. I don't think he's at a plateau. So what would I suggest instead? Well, you could use Primobolan, Masterone. These are much weaker than Tren, but they're also safer. He may have chosen Tren because he doesn't want to get bloated. He doesn't want to have a lot of water retention. He wants lean, high, dry gains. Well, that's what Masterone or Primo are going to give you. And what do I think about him adding Anavar? Anavar isn't hepatotoxic or hepatotoxic. I don't know which one it is. What it means is it's not that harmful for the liver at 25 milligrams. Pretty safe bet. He's going to be able to take that for multiple months without doing much damage to the liver. And even if you do, the liver is rather resilient. It's not like the kidneys. So if you're taking oral steroids and you stop, liver's probably going to be okay. It's similar to drinking alcohol. Probably drink a few beers every day for several months. Not going to cause you much problem. But if you drink a case or a pint of vodka every single day, eventually the liver's going to give up.
Pretty happy with how the cut's going. Also, I didn't realize that I had like rear delts that were actually dope.
And honestly, Soosh's back's a lot better built than I expected. Very wide lats. I know he's a really tall guy. Didn't think he had lats like that. And seems to be about 15% body fat, which is about the ideal range for most men. Perfectly healthy. I don't actually think he needs to diet, but if he wants to, well, why not? If he does get leaner and he has less energy, then I wouldn't recommend it. And I would suggest he goes back to 15% body fat where he can build more muscle. Everyone has a certain body fat percentage that's ideal for them to build muscle. If you diet to the point where you don't have energy, you don't feel good, you're starving all the time, it's not worth it. Eat a little bit more, up your body fat to a comfortable place, and gain from there. And by gain, I mean main gain. And what is that? It means keep your body fat about the same and put on muscle. Don't bulk, don't lean bulk, just eat. Keep your fat the same, 15%. And over the next year, try to put on muscle. Maybe 5 pounds, maybe 10, depends if you're natural on PDs.
I'm more motivated now than I am when I was like bulking because I almost didn't like the way that I looked. But now that like I'm starting to see actual results and stuff, I'm really happy with what's been going down.
He's more motivated now that he's leaner than when he was bulking. Being motivated, it's very important. It's underrated. If you're not motivated to work out, you don't like the reflection in the mirror, you're not going to push as hard. So even if you're in a calorie surplus, if you're not motivated, you don't like how you look, what's the point? With main gaining, the whole point is you look good all the time, you're happy with your percent body fat, and you gain muscle from there. There's no point in bulking, lean bulking, getting out of shape, getting sloppy, getting to a point where you're not comfortable with how you look, just in the effort to put on more muscle. And then after a bulks come to an end, then you have to cut. You think it's going to be a mini cut. What it's going to be is 3 months of starving yourself to get the fat off that you didn't want. So rather than bulk and cut all the time, just main gain, get to a body fat percentage that you like, maintain it for the rest of your life. And get my cookbook, that's gonna help. Full of low-calorie, delicious foods, gonna keep you full, satisfied, so you don't need to binge.
8 p.m. and I have not eaten anything all day.
And it's 8 p.m. and he hasn't even eaten yet. Now that's the first mistake. When you eat meal one with protein, that's your first opportunity to build muscle. That's when muscle protein synthesis occurs. If you skip breakfast and say, I don't need to eat, breakfast ain't the most important meal of the day, I'll eat it later, breakfast for pussies. You're missing that first chance to grow muscle. So I highly recommend that you don't do intermittent fasting unless you're a couch potato and you're worried about autophagy, which he is not. I suggest you eat breakfast. It's not rocket science. We've done it for years. Breakfast. You get up, you've been fasting overnight, and you break the fast, hence breakfast, by eating food, preferably with some protein.
I literally eat the same thing to the gram every single day.
Honestly, if you did that, you'd probably have some form of disordered eating, we'll call it. But I've already watched a video and I know he doesn't do that. So he probably eats mostly the same thing, but he certainly doesn't eat the same thing every day. Variety, the spice of life. I suggest you eat variety. Don't eat the same thing every day. By eating different foods, you're actually healthier. You're getting different macronutrients. And if you eat the same exact thing, you might be missing out on certain things that they're not in those foods. So eat more variety. Mix it up. Cookbook, over 100 recipes. Well over 100, lots of variety. Suggest you get the book.
Guys, it's pretty simple, okay? You're gonna need 5 things. We're making an omelet here.
And I mean, you can't go wrong with his breakfast here. Full of vegetables, lower calorie dense foods. Got some potatoes for some carbs, giving him energy for the gym. Egg whites for protein. He's got a full egg, a whole egg with the yellow. Little bit of the fats in there. Nothing wrong with that. 1 egg, it's only 75 calories in total. It's not like he's having 10. You can't go wrong. 1 egg. You can handle an egg, people, even if you're on a diet. Don't be scared of 1 egg.
So this is a lot of volume, and this is gonna come out to be around 360 calories. I'll show you guys the macros in a sec.
And for 360 calories, that means I could eat 2 of these for my breakfast. So I'm pumped. I would definitely eat this. Looks delicious, looks amazing.
You might be thinking, yo, it's done. But no, there's one last final touch, okay? We got sugar-free ketchup.
So usually I go for a light version rather than full fat condiments or a lower sugar alternative, something that's going to have less calories but still gives you the taste that you need. You don't want the food to not taste good, and so just because you add in 10, 20 extra calories, it's not going to make a difference. It's not enough to put you over the edge.
We're looking at 36 grams of protein, 40 grams of carbs, 7 grams of fiber, 9 grams sugar, 5 grams fat. 380 calories.
So he hasn't eaten until 8 p.m. He breaks his fast with only 360 calories. I think it's not enough food. I think you should eat more. You haven't eaten in that long. First meal should be a lot more calories.
11:30 and I'm about to eat like my lunch. We were watching a movie, so I had a bag of Smart Pop, which is 100 calories. Then I also had the Kirkland protein bars.
And for a snack, he's having Smart Pop popcorn, a Kirkland protein bar. They're really cheap, delicious, tasty. I eat those too sometimes, get them from Costco. So good choice for a snack.
I'll mix like the actual rice with cauliflower rice to make it like a lot of volume.
And so for his next meal, he's having cauliflower rice, which is a lot lower in calories, mixed with regular rice. So by mixing half cauliflower rice and half rice, he gets to eat more volume for less calories. Smart choice if you're trying to be full for less calories. His protein of choice, 99% fat-free ground turkey. That's amazing. Very low in fat and calories. Great choice when trying to diet.
So we got that cooking. That kind of takes a while to cook, so let me just season it. Garlic salt.
And you might be thinking he sure is adding a lot of salt, but honestly, salt doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter!
The Rock also knows it doesn't matter. But unless your doctor tells you not to have a lot of salt, then just have your salt. You're going to sweat it out. It's going to give you a better pump. It's not bad for you. For some reason, people are scared of salt. They think it's making them fat. Salt doesn't have calories. It can make you retain water, but it's water. It's not fat. You're going to sweat it out. If you're active, you can have a lot of salt. It's not bad for you.
I didn't realize how many calories I was eating via pan spray. And James was like, yo, bro, you have to realize that each 1 second is 100 calories, I think they say.
So Soosh, you're going to be pleasantly surprised. You're going to be happy to learn this. 1 second is 10 calories, not 100. If 1 second was 100 calories, I would throw that stuff away. So when James told you 10 calories, 100, you might have misheard it, but 0.1 of a second is not 10 calories. 1 second, 10 calories. It's not a problem. But I had to point out, as soon as I heard that, I was like, oh, when I make a video, I'm going to point that out. So there you have it. You learned something new.
I'm about to scramble this in the turkey. So beautiful.
And I love that. Adding an egg into your rice or chicken or whatever you're eating, it adds some more deliciousness and a lot of protein. So that's another great point. If you're eating, you don't have enough protein, just throw in some eggs into it. Probably going to taste good. And he's got his own protein ice cream concoction with a couple bananas, almond milk. And if he wanted to make it thicker, because obviously he can't put this over his head, he could just put less almond milk. And he is correct. The more ice you put, the more voluminous it's going to be. But the less tasty, the less delicious it'll be. So you have to counterbalance. Do you want a lot more volume but not taste quite as good? Or do you want it to taste absolutely delicious but not be as big?
So with sweetener, you guys can use however much you want, but for me, I like a lot. You know, you could say, Soosh, that's way too much sweetener. You're gonna die of cancer because of how much sweetener that is. But bro, I'm gonna die shredded.
And yeah, exactly. You're not dying of cancer from artificial sweeteners. People make that rumor up. You have to have like 36 cans of pop for the rest of your life for like 20 plus years to have any problem. Who's drinking 36 cans of Diet Coke a day? Not even Coach Greg. I have maybe 6 a day. So trust me, you're not dying of cancer from artificial sweeteners. Probably going to get it from the sun, not putting on your sunscreen, you age your face, and you're not putting on your sunscreen, you're going out, you want to get a tan. Yeah, that's probably how you're going to get it. Or some other stupid thing that happens in your life. Life sucks. Well, when you're alive, it's great. And when you die, whatever.
I do 3 tablespoons or teaspoons of xanthan gum.
3 teaspoons of xanthan gum. Yeah, that's going to hurt the stomach for most people. I couldn't handle that much. If you can handle it, that's good for you. But that is a lot of xanthan gum. I'm telling you, probably better off to put 1 cup of the almond milk instead of 2 cups and just put half the xanthan gum, make it thick. It's still going to be delicious. Trust me. Add in some more ice. Just do it.
Sometimes I'll have beef rather than the chicken or rather than the turkey. And then sometimes I'll have salmon as well, because I saw a video Greg Doucette was like, yo, people should be eating fatty fish 3 times a week.
And he's literally quoting Coach Greg, who says, maybe you should eat salmon, fatty fish 3 times a week. Yet people make videos saying, I'm against fat. I never tell you to eat any fat. Yet Soosh is quoting me from other videos. He's watched it, said, Coach Greg says salmon maybe 3 times a week. So he says, rather than just eating beef or chicken every day, I try to get salmon in 3 times a week. Is that not proof that I've said it? Soosh is saying I've said it. He's using it in his video. So those of you who think I'm vilifying fats, I'm not. I'm saying try to use them in moderation. They have 9 calories per gram versus 4 calories per gram in carbs or protein. But you need to get in your healthy fats too. Salmon, just one of the ones I promote. There's also avocado, not as much healthy fat as in a salmon. But there's also other fish. You can eat trout. You can eat nuts, but it's just so high in calories. Flax seeds, these have a lot of healthy fat. So don't forget, you're allowed to eat fat, just try not to go crazy on them.
The problem with these low-calorie diets is you don't get enough fat. Sometimes you can feel like shit when you don't have enough. That is why I be eating real eggs, salmon, shit like that.
And he makes a good point. A lot of people, they're on the low-calorie diets and they cut out all fats. It's almost like they're scared of the fats. They're fatophobes. Most of the time you hear carbophobes are on keto diets, but you don't have to get rid of all your fats. He had a whole egg for breakfast. He had a whole egg at night. It's 2 eggs in a day. It's not a big deal. He's having the salmon 3 times a week. Add in a little bit of fat in there when you can, and your diet, it's only going to get better. Just don't go crazy on stupid fats, like chips and olive oil all over everywhere and cooking in abundance. You don't need 180 grams of fat a day. Just be careful. Use it sparingly. Use it when you want it. Use it when you need it. And eat healthy fats, omega-3 fatty acids.
These are perfect. So we got these lettuce wraps here.
And if you don't have the calories left to make an actual wrap, just get rid of the wrap. Use the lettuce, iceberg lettuce. You can make a delicious iceberg lettuce wrap without the wrap itself to save you maybe 140 calories from a Joseph Lavash bread. So great ideas from Soosh.
Time to make my last meal. This meal is pretty much, every other fitness person's favorite meal. It's gonna be French toast.
And guess what his favorite meal is? French toast. Probably every other fitness person's favorite. French toast. You gotta love the French toast. It's a staple at home here. Probably a staple at your house. If it's not, give the anabolic French toast a try.
I put this on top of my French toast. It's blueberries with some stevia.
And he has what I used to call blueberry goop. I made apple goop, apple poop, some of you know it. I used to make blueberry goop. It was blueberries with artificial sweetener and some water, cooked it on the stove, put in some xanthan gum, guar gum, and made it into like a thick, warm jam. And I used to put that on my French toast. This made back 15 years. It's not even the cookbook. I stopped making it. Just had a lot of calories, a little bit more calories than I wanted. Didn't really need it. I just got into the low-calorie syrups instead of the jam. But hey, you want to try some variety, you can do it like Soosh here, or you can do it like me with some xanthan gum and some water, make it lower in calories. Give it a try.
This whole arrangement right here is 753 calories, okay?
But yeah, overall, I think his diet is great. I could eat like this. I like this. The only difference is I would start meal 1 a bit sooner so that I could take advantage of muscle protein synthesis, not intermittent fast as much, but I think what he's doing is he's trying to save his calories for later in the day before bed. Kind of starts off with a lower calorie meal and kind of ramps it up as he gets into bedtime. But sometimes that's actually bad for people. Sometimes if you eat too much, you don't sleep as well. When you eat, there's something called the thermic effect of food. It like heats up your body. Maybe you've eaten a lot before and you start sweating. That can in fact hinder your sleep. Not everyone can sleep well when they eat too much before bed. If that is you, then don't eat like this where he's eating a lot of food before bed. If it's not, doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter!
Doesn't matter for The Rock, doesn't matter for me, but if it is a problem, just eat a little bit less before bed. He had 2 kind of big meals there together, just eat half. Have the chicken lettuce wraps or the French toast, one of the 2, and I would say eat some of those other calories earlier in the day. With his breakfast, it was 380 calories. You could add a little bit extra. Anyway, doesn't matter. He's getting good results. He's happy, so who am I to say it's not working? Ending it here. GregDoucette.com for coaching. Greg Doucette IP Pro. These are the bloops. Watch at least one. Don't forget to buy the freaking cookbooks if you want to eat like Soosh. Although they're not the exact same recipes, it's similar. Makes you full, happy, satisfied, maybe a little bloated. Well, who cares? You're not going to die of cancer. There's artificial sweeteners all over the place in there too. Bell button. Subscribe bell button. And until next time, I'm out.